Josh with Dip channel, and today we're going to be doing a little bit different video, but still ties in with, well, being a diesel mechanic. You see, folks, you may not know this, or maybe you do, but I get emails every day. Lots of them. Most of them have to deal with answering diesel engine questions. But along with that, I get lots of emails with people asking me to try products. It could be all sorts of stuff. Watches, clothes, all sorts of stuff that, while it might be good, has nothing really to do with the channel. Now, Temu, if you've heard of them, is a pretty big company. It's an online retailer. And I've heard of them, but to tell you the truth, folks, I don't really know anything about them. I've never bought anything from them. I've never even been on their website. They said they wanted me to try their products, though. And I said, it doesn't match the channel. I said, I usually do tool reviews, diesel engine repair, stuff like that. They said, oh, we sell tools. I didn't believe them. So I went on their website for the first time, and oh my goodness, do they sell tools. They have a humongous selection. So I told them, okay, I'll try your stuff out. I'll do an honest review on them. What do you want me to do? They said, look, we'll give you $300 worth of stuff. Just do a 10-minute video on it and tell us what you think. So that's what I'm doing. So they provided me with these products. This is $300 in products right here. Now, what is this stuff? I tried to get a weird mix of stuff, and we're going to try it out. Some of it's stuff I've never even used before. Some of it's stuff that I thought would be cool to have that I've never had. Let's open the boxes and see what's in there.
So we have the oh so exciting unboxing here, and as you can see, yeah, I haven't even been in these boxes before, but I knew what I did order. Now, the people over at Temu wanted me to put this up here for if you want to get any of these products, download the Temu app and then search the code DZU5523. That's Delta Zulu Uniform 5523 for a $100 coupon bundle. I'm not exactly sure how that coupon bundle works. You'd have to go and try it out for yourself because none of these products cost over $100 each. In fact, all of them together were under $300. So, and as you can see, just inspecting everything here to see it's actually what I ordered, and it is. And like I said, you know, going off the website, very descriptive on the website, and you'll see what I've got getting unboxed. You might be saying, what the heck is this red thing? Well, just wait a minute or two and I'll be explaining what all this stuff I am taking out of here, because if you're not familiar with these things exactly, you might be concerned or wondering, what the heck? These are not necessarily mechanic tools. Well, you know, any tool can be a mechanic tool. You know, you have to get creative sometimes with some things you do, but all these tools are pretty interesting. We're going to show you close up and discuss them in more detail right now. All right, folks, so this is our haul here, even with the owner's manual. So this weird contraption that I wasn't even looking for, they had it on there, is called a T-post puller. So it's for pulling posts out of the ground, which anyone that has any fencing, this might work. It's a VEVOR, which if you're familiar with the channel, has sponsored stuff before, but this video is not sponsored directly by them. It's by Temu, but Temu actually doesn't have a house brand, so they sell other manufacturers' stuff. So we're going to be trying this. I've never used one of these before. Some other stuff. So chain. This is actually rated transport chain, grade 80. It's 1/4 inch though, which, you know, usually, well, the hooks say G70. So with all the unboxing, this was the only weird thing I found was the chain itself. So the chain itself is rated at G80, which can be used for overhead lifting or tie down. But the hook ends are G70, which are not rated for overhead lifting. They're only rated for tie down. So just found that kind of interesting. Chain says 80. Maybe the hooks are lower than the other ones. I don't know. But it's 1/4 inch chain. Usually when you're dealing with chain, it's 3/8 and it weighs 5 billion pounds. But I don't haul large items, you know, I'm not hauling bulldozers. So, you know, most people could probably benefit with some not light duty chain, but 1/4 inch chain. It'll work great for anything that doesn't weigh 50,000 pounds. This is something I ran across while on there that I thought was awesome because something I've used in the past. I don't have one, but I think a lot of people could benefit from them. And what is it? Well, if you've seen these before, you know what it is, but if you don't, it's a bander. You might be saying, what the heck? What do you work at a shipping company, Josh? Well, no, but Be surprised how many times you're moving something, whether it's on a pallet or it's a big crate or a box. You need to either ship it or move it, and you need a semi-permanent solution, but you don't want to put, a $10 ratchet strap on it. This works very, very good, and this stuff is way cheaper than using ratchet straps. So we'll be kind of practicing with that later. They're actually pretty fun once you use to do it. If you're, shipping a transmission or an engine or something on a pallet, great. Big boxes are good for that. This, I was looking through there and I thought it was a pretty good deal. So it's a two-piece set of Zerks. Standard, metric. It appears to be really good quality, what I can see, at least. So these are the metric ones. I don't see any rolled threads or anything. These are mini chain binders, so they're little. You can see they're not heavy at all. It's a 4-pack, and they're ratcheting. Way better than the pull-over type. And they get this chain. So we're going to have to try those out. This is probably the most interesting thing, which I'd never heard of before. Now, everyone's seen the hoist, the cable hoist. This is what you call they call it a ratchet power puller. But I've seen them called rope pullers, a whole bunch of different things. In the mechanic field, I've never seen one like this, though, with a rope. It's 100 feet of 1,500 pound rated rope. And apparently they use it a lot for logging, boating, if you're going to pull something to the shore. It's really good for pulling a long distance at moderate load, opposed to like a cable style one, which might be 4 tons or 3 tons or 2 ton rated. But usually they have a very short pull distance, maybe 3 or 6 or 12 feet. This is 100 feet. And the cool part is you can actually pull 100 feet. So we're going to do some stuff with this. This is the most interesting thing that I think I got. Let's try it out. Okay, so first task we're going to do is, and this is a good example, is I want to get that riding mower, which is about 25 feet on my trailer here, which has a ramp. However, pushing the mower that won't start up the ramp, which is pretty steep, would be quite difficult. However, with this, might not be. Let's try it out. All right, so we're going to be trying to put this ratchet power puller or rope puller. There's a whole bunch of different names for these in order here. Now, of course, if the mower is running, you could drive it up here. However, the steepness of the ramp creates a real problem here. The mower's not running. If you try to push it up, once you try to push it up that ramp, that mower weighs more than I do, so it's going to be pretty hard to do with a wheeled device. So we're using this kind of like a winch, really. And since it's so long, you're not going to run out of space. Now, if you know anything about single axle trailers, don't do that. Almost need the circus music to start playing here. So yeah, what we got going on here is just a steep ramp and a mower. And the mower itself's not the problem, it's the mowing deck, and it keeps getting caught on the ramp here, hence the circus music. What I should have did was raise the front jack and then block the rear here to give it a better angle, like that. Nothing wrong with the puller. Puller worked excellent. I'm going to try it on some trees and some other things, see if I can pull them over later. But yeah, just trying to get this on here. Puller worked great. Definitely for the price. Worked wonderful. So now we have it on the trailer. It's time to secure it using our chain binders and chains. I've got the front kind of secured already. The rear, it's kind of a pain because I've got this. They're coming 14-foot lengths, but I'd rather have 2 7-foot chains and then one long 14-footer. So what I'm going to do is cut it at 7 feet. That'll also see how tough these chains are, because I'm going to use these huge bolt cutters and see how tough it is. So let's try it. So these are 2-foot long bolt cutters. So let's see how hard this chain is to cut. Let's see if I can cut it. Nicked it. Dang. Holy mackerel. That's some tough chain. Okay, yeah, it did cut it. But man, that was... if you've cut cheap chain before, usually breaks pretty... Oh yeah, so these are... So the hooks say G70, but these say G80. Yeah, that's quite the chain there. Oh, woo. Okay, well, good to know it's not gonna fall apart. Okay, so I've got these rigged up, and it's working good so far. So if you don't know how these work, they're a ratchet mechanism, and as you pull them, it kind of tightens. One side's left-hand thread, one side's right-hand thread. One nice little thing I noticed is they painted the ends red, so you know when you're almost out of thread. So that's pretty cool. So let's get this rigged up. So as you can see, maybe. Good job, buddy. Okay. So as I tighten this, it's going to pull and tighten the chain. Now I will have to do something about this excess. I'll probably just bungee cord it out of the way or something. But so what it's doing is it's forcing the chain tighter. You can do both sides. Now, if you're asking what will stop it from moving, is the front chain. Because this is kind of a... kind of got an antagonistic deal going on here, because these are pulling this way, and then those are pulling that way. So the idea being, they're kind of tightening each other. Now I've done a lot of ratchet strapping for stuff like this, but ratchet straps are always kind of a pray they don't break type situation. I think this might be the most secure this riding mower has ever been. That is not going anywhere. Okay, so while it might seem boring, this might be one of the coolest items I got from here. And it's the bander. Which you might say, why does anyone need that? But I think anyone that's ever shipped or packaged or stored anything, I mean, you might want to band firewood. Or you might want to store stuff long term. You don't want people opening it. So it's pretty simple. The tool is. So you'll put it in the middle of the box. Right? Okay, so yeah, you slide that there. And this guy gets in there. Basically, it needs to ratchet through like that. Okay, so notice how these are overlapping. cool. Take your little metal clip guy. Do you see where the overlap is here? And we got the big old Jaws of Life crimper guy. Okay, so that's crimped, totally clean. Now this has a slicer here. Look at that. Cut it. So yeah, if you want to ship something or long-term storage, and it's super strong. I mean, it's full of wood, but pretty cool. And I know everyone's cut these off, but how many people have actually installed them? And yeah, like I said, it's pretty easy to use the tools. Not super intuitive to use, just the way it's designed, but once you've done it a couple times, you'll wonder why you never used them before. So the property I moved to had this weird chicken enclosure thing here that I tore down, and I pulled most of these posts out by hand. People have seen these before, but this one's pretty deep in the ground, and I have not been able to move it at all. There's different tools you can use, but I saw that this is a specific tool for this, so let's try using this tool to pull it out. All right, so as far as I can tell, you slide this over here, and then it pulls up like this. Might be doing that wrong. Not exactly. So let me get closer to here. No, look at that. It moved it about an inch, I'd say. Oh yeah, coming right out. That's actually pretty cool. Really simple. Might not be doing it 100% efficiently. But yeah, look at that. Wow, I wish I would have had this a couple months ago. Look at that. Probably laughing because I may be using it wrong, but took it right out of there. You can see that sucker was several feet in there. Cool.
So what do I think? Well, for $300, I think definitely it is worth that much. Everything worked as far as I could tell to its full extent. This thing's pretty cool. I don't know outside of that. Well, we tried all the major tools here, and I think for $300, it was a heck of a deal. This thing worked great for pulling that mower up onto the bed of the trailer. The steepness of the ramp was kind of a hindrance, but that's not really the fault of this. That's just kind of the trailer and the mower deck being on there. If it didn't have a mower deck, it would have obviously gone right on. The bander, pretty cool. If you've never seen them before, I'm sure you've seen these, but any shop should really have that. I mean, the ability to group things together and hold them there with strength, or if you're shipping something back, it's just good to have. Something you buy, you'll use it maybe a couple times a year, maybe more, and you'll be happy you got it. I use the post puller. Never used one of those before, but it sure as heck beat trying to pound it out or some of the other ways I tried to remove it. The chain and the binder. Chain seemed excellent quality. The binders work great too. All in all, for the price, I think the Temu tools are pretty good. Thanks for watching.